Happy Wednesday morning to Casa TexPina. We are on build day number 121. The guys are continuing to do lots of plaster coating in several different locations, both inside and outside of the house. Engineer's brother-in-law brought some more, a little bit more delivery of fiber cement board yesterday. So we're continuing with the Cenepa today, the fascia board, as well as doing the renderings for the arches on the front porch. And then the welders are continuing with the hidden gutter supports along the back of the house on that west wall. So all along the western face there, they're taking care of that. So I'm going to walk you guys around and show you where everybody's at. Let's get started. Starting from the front of the house, we're going to work our way around. Mr. Jojo over here is working on the forms and renderings of the archways. So what they did yesterday was they put in these arches. We'll get up here close to it and you can see it. So yesterday they put these in place. Okay. One on either side. Now what they're going to do today, they're coming back, they're taking off the forms and they're putting on the forms for the outside. So this is going to be the design on the outside edge. But what they're doing up here underneath is rendering it the same way they did the tops of these windows. So here they call it edging or cornering the windows, and that's what they're getting ready to do here. They're going to corner this. So it'll be a lot of plaster, a lot of mortar plaster coat that'll go up in there, and they'll do it a little bit at a time so it has a chance to dry and adhere. So that's what they're working on that. Over here on this side, Mr. Alex and Mr. Allen are continuing to work the Cenepa or the fascia. Like I said, mentioned in the intro, engineer's brother-in-law Al brought the additional panels, so they're starting to work their way around the front side of the fascia board now that the gutters have been done on this side, so they'll start working their way around that corner. Let's go ahead and take a look inside the garage. I'll show you where some of the plaster coat operations are going and answer one of the subscribers' questions. Andrew from Australia was asking about some of the mold on the block. This section up in here is not mold. What this is where they when they were working up on the when they were working up in the media room, they had this tub full of water and cement mixture and a whole bunch of other stuff. So when they poured it out, they poured it all out this wall here, and this is just discoloration of the boards from that cement runoff. So it's not actually green with mold, it's just an off gray color from the cement runoff. However, there are some places that do have a little bit of mold, as you can see on some of these blocks here. And what they're going to do with this, after talking with the foreman, they're going to spray it with a bleach mixture and scrape it off before they start doing the rendering of it. So they're going to make sure that's all clean, no mold on the house, or no mold underneath, so it doesn't come out later. All right, continuing on with the plaster coat operations. They are starting to plaster coat the outside or outside the house, and they're doing the fence line. So starting to plaster coat on this guy. We got Mr. Romy and Mr. Joel. Mr. Gabby is assisting. And then up here on the roof line of the house, Mr. Joseph is still working the hidden gutter support brackets, making sure those are all going into place. So we've got a place for the hidden gutters to rest on. Okay, let's go ahead and work our way around. I'm going to show you from the outside looking in. I believe these guys were up here momentarily little while ago. Okay, so two things here. I've got Mr. Jonah up here from the welding crew, and he's going around and painting, prime coating all of the exposed metal. And up here on the top, on the scaffolding, Mr. Wilson and a few others are going to be starting to they're going to be starting to plaster coat up there as well. So we're going to start plaster coating the outside of the media room. The reason why they're hopping all over the house for plaster coating operations is so they're not all on top of each other. They want to spread out a little bit so that they're not interfering with each other's work. So we'll have 2 or 3 guys up here, and they'll be plaster coating this whole top section. Then, as you can see, some of the mold on the concrete blocks down here will be bleached and scraped before the plaster coating begins on the lower section. Now what Mr. Jojo is doing here, they have gone back through and used baling wire, or the steel wire, to give it some texture, something for the plaster coat to hold to. Thin coats at a time, so that it has a chance to dry out a little bit before they start putting on the next layer. You can see where he's already done it in this section here. You can still see some of the wire, and then when it gets done, it'll look like this section here. You can still see some of the wire here as well, and he's still working on it. So he's working on these 2 sides, plaster coating those in a little bit at a time, same as he did on the undersides of the windows when they did the cornering on those. All right, let's take a look around this morning. We're still mid-morning. It's not quite lunch yet. Take a look around. Mr. Joseph here is still working on the hidden gutter support systems, the support brackets. So he's still working on that. Kindly waiting for me to pass by so I don't get metal dropped on my head. The 2 gentlemen over here on the end almost finished with the plaster coating on this section of the fence line. They will be going over it with a fine grout, doing the smooth coat finish on it here momentarily. That's what this pile of mortar here is going to be for. Okay, let's go see where the guys are inside the garage area. So we're continuing to work this. Mr. Ben and Mr. Jericho are up there working their plaster coat, and Mr. Jerome is then making sure they stay plenty supplied with all the plaster coat they need for that. Over here on the side, Mr. Chucks is continuing to put in the rough in the conduit here in the utility room. He started out this morning with this section here. As soon as we come in, this is for the switch, and also goes over to the outlets that are going to be for the utility cabinet here, kind of like a just a bench, cabinet bench, and cabinets up on top. Okay, let's go ahead, come back out of the garage area. Mr. Alex here has been helping our other carpenter, Mr. Allen, up on top as he's placing these fascia boards, Cenepa as they call it. So these are fiber cement boards that are going up, and they're being riveted into place. Okay, let's go take a quick walk around the front. See how far along Mr. Jojo had come with the archways on the front porch. So he's still working these. You can only go so fast when you're working with mortar and plaster coat that's hanging upside down. You've got to let it be able to dry a little bit before you can put more on it. If it gets too heavy, it's all coming down. So they put it up, let it dry a little bit, put up some more, let it dry a little bit. So they keep rendering this, as they call it. It's either called rendering or plaster coating, either or. Still working on it. See, he has a large section there, still being worked. So he's probably waiting on more plaster coat. As you can see, his little pallet is full. Oh, sorry, it's empty. Very empty. Very empty there. Okay, let's go ahead and walk in. There goes his plaster coat. So now he can get back to work. He was just waiting for somebody to bring him another load. Coming up into the media room, Mr. Pablo and Mr. Alex are the ones that have been mixing the mortar for these three gentlemen out here, doing the rendering or doing the plaster coating. Oh, we got 4 out here now. So we got Mr. Wilson down at the end, Mr. Marvin, and Mr. Carlito. All right, we're gonna try and kill 2 birds with 1 stone today. We're going to lunch and do a little bit of shopping. We're going to this store that's called S&R. It's the Philippine version of, say, Costco or Sam's. So that's what we're going to go take a look at. I think it's more closely associated with Costco. There's sometimes you'll see items in there that are from a brand called Kirkland's. Kirkland's Signature Series is what it'll be called. Or there'll be items that are Members Plus. Instead of how Sam's does Members Mark, S&R does Members Plus. So we're going to go take a look. We've got to get some grocery things that we get there that we don't really see at a lot of other locations. And that's what we're going to go take a look at. All right, so we're going to go take a look here at S&R. This is the front of it. We're at S&R Dao Mabalacat. So we're going to go in and take a look. So let's go. All right, they do have a food court in S&R. Kind of small, but they're also doing a little bit of social distancing on the seating. They're only allowing 50%, which is every other seat being filled. So you notice they have the little X's on the seats. That means don't sit on the X. So up here on the top, good assortment of food. You got hamburgers, chicken, pizza, and soft drinks. So, all right, one of the refrigerators that we're looking at as an alternative for the Samsung, which is no longer being produced, is this LG here. Has a door-and-door system, so you can open it up, get all the drinks right here in the front. But you notice on the inside here it says no plumbing. What that means is this ice and water dispenser is all fed from this tank right here. So you can take the tank out, fill it up, put it back in, and that feeds all of the ice water system on this side. I was looking at the back, and I'm gonna have to ask a different location to ask about the installer, because on the back of it, I'm gonna sneak back here real quick. On the back of it, it looks like it may be able to be hooked up for actual plumbing. I'll have to ask somebody that actually knows, like a true installer, not just a sales agent. Okay, the washer type we're looking for, they happen to have here. Looking at this Maytag. This is typical stateside style. This is the old style here they've got with the actual agitator in it. In our experience, we've noticed that the new style washers and dryers that don't have an agitator, such as this guy here, no agitator, they've only got the impellers on the bottom. These guys are good for if you've got very light soiled clothes and really good water pressure. But if you don't, and you've got heavy soiled clothes, kind of crappy water pressure, then the one with the agitator is still the best one on the market. Here they've got Maytag and Whirlpool, which are actually both the same company. So we're looking at this style for the washer, and then the front load electric dryer by the same brand is also here. And this is what we're looking at, you know, typical standard style US products, but again, we're importing these and they're being converted over to 220 power, so hence the raised price. I know in the States this set you would probably pay only $300 per piece, $300 or $400. This is $33,294, which roughly equates out to about $660. So about $660 just for the washer, just for the dryer. Same thing for the washing machine. The washing machine here is almost right at $900. You see here the price is $44,500. So that's roughly about $900. It's a little more expensive, but I think the agitator will work better, and plus being the American style mechanics on the inside, we like those better. It's just a matter of switching over the power to 220, which was already done for us. Big pack toilet paper. This equals out to almost $8. It's like $7.50. 20 rolls. This is probably the best deal they got here for toilet paper. Plenty of it. We're not running out of stock here. All right, another thing we're going to pick up is a case of water. Water's going right at about $5 for a case. It's 24 bottles of the 500 milliliter, so not bad. About the same price as we're paying for water in the States. Take a look through some of the fruit section. Emie's looking at some apples for our snacks. A little bit on the veggies. They have other places to be able to buy these at a cheaper price. So my suggestion is, unless you're after something like apples, where we're kind of particular about type that we get, veggies and stuff you can get at the local market, the public market. They call it palenque. So you can get it there at usually a better price and better quality product coming out of the local market. As far as some of the dairy products, if you're looking for some of the ultra pasteurized, they carry it here, but when they get it, you've got to get it because they tend to run out pretty quick. Same thing with some of the OJ from the States. Stateside orange juice runs out fairly quickly, so when they do have it in stock, you usually got to look at getting it. Here we're looking at the price. It's about $5 for a half gallon of orange juice. Same thing for milk. It's about $5 for a half gallon, so it's a little pricey, but if you like that style of milk, that's the kind you get. Otherwise you end up with the boxed milk, the shelf life. All right, so that's pretty much S&R. You've got it's set up very similar to Costco or Sam's, you know, the big box stores, big bulk stores. Unfortunately here, because of the import fees, everything gets passed on to the consumer. So if you're looking to live your American side lifestyle, it's going to cost a lot extra here. The faster you can learn how to survive on the local market, you can do that. But some things you just can't get on the local market. So that's part of the reason there's some things that we come here to look for.
And back home, gotta wear your face mask. Oh, the smiley face is on duty today.
Thank you. All right, Mr. JoJo's still working the archways. Looks nice and smooth. So now we're using some of the fine mortar to go over the top, or in this case underneath the bottom, make a smooth edge on it. And he's following the jigs that he already had, the forms, so he's using those. So it's going to be a good smooth finish on the bottom. And then on the side, this was the step prior to that he's working on now. This was the prior step. All right, so yesterday the guys finished these sidewalls here on the dormer window. So it's going to have a small box type. So we're going to go out just a little bit and then up. So it'll actually, the top of the window is going to be about here and go across. So it'll actually still be underneath the roof line here. So if I'm backing up, this is what we're looking at now. This here is about 4 feet up. So the bottom of the box window sits at about 4 feet. Sitting just above my waistline. Might be about 3.5 feet. I could be fibbing. All right, we're just about at the end of the day, almost about to close up. Let's look and see what the archways look like that Mr. Jojo was working on earlier today. Not sure if y'all can see this or not. The lighting is not perfect for doing this kind of videography, but I'll see if I can zoom into it and make it a little better. The bottom of this looks really nice and smooth. If I didn't know it wasn't poured concrete, I would think it was poured this way and then just smoothed over at the end. It looks good. So tomorrow he's going to start working on this side over here. You can see he's already, I don't know if y'all can see it or not, he's already got a string line up here so he knows where to put in the forms. Sorry, let me put that correctly. Where to put the forms on the walls. Okay.
Yan, parang nakita ang
Yeah, it looks good up here. So we got a nice smooth coat on it. Yeah. All right, it's yabba dabba do time. Guys are headed home. It's end of the day. We've gotten quite a bit accomplished. We had the hidden gutter support brackets are almost done. They've got, I think, 2 more brackets to do, and that whole system will be completed, and then they can start fabricating the actual gutters themselves. Here on the front, they're continuing to work the Cenepa or the fascia board. He's actually almost caught up to the gentleman that was doing the hidden gutter support brackets, so they're on the back side as well. So they started out here on the front this morning and worked their way all the way around to the back side. So they're on the west side of the house now working that. And the main thing for today was that we got the entry arches almost done. We've gotten 2 out of the 3 completed so far. And he's going to start working on the 3rd arch tomorrow morning. Other than that, we had a lot of plaster coating going on. We had some in the master bedroom area, up in the attic above the outside of the media room, so kind of in that section of the house. Also in the garage, we continued with a lot of plaster coating. In addition, we got plaster coating on the first 2 sections of the fence wall over by the Kubo. They're working their way around. Like I said, they wanted to make sure that they're not stepping all over each other while they're doing the plaster coating, so that's why they're in like multiple different locations throughout the house. So lots done today. It was a great Wednesday, good way to get through the hump day of the week. And so we're going to continue working on this again tomorrow, and more plaster coating and more arches and more fascia board. Hopefully we'll see tomorrow morning, we'll see the finish of the hidden gutter support system so that the brackets are all in place. The next thing we'll get started on those. So we'll see you guys here again tomorrow morning for more fun construction building. If y'all like today's episode, please give us a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of these episodes, hit the Casa TexPina star right over here on the side, and you'll be subscribed. Hit the bell icon just below the view screen. You'll be notified of our next video upload for your viewing pleasure. So until then, have a great afternoon, and God bless. Mike, guess what day it is? It's hump day. Say what?